All right, lesson 2.3, our learning targets. You can find slope of a line given 2 points on that line. You can identify the slope-intercept form of a linear function as f of x equals mx plus b. You can graph a line in slope-intercept form and use the graph to show where the y-intercept, your b, and the slope m are represented on the graph. And you can write an equation of a line given its graph. So, slope is, as a lot of you know, rise over run, the change in y divided by the change in x. This is our formula that we're going to use if you need to calculate it precisely. So, as in point A, we have x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So we just take and plug that in to our circled equation. So y2 would be negative 5, minus our y1 would be 2, over our x2, which would be 4, and minus our x1, which would be negative 10. Negative 5 minus 2 gives me negative 7. 4 minus a negative 10, this turns into a plus, so I got over 14. Simplify. That gives me a negative 1/2. Why don't you pause here and see if you can complete B and C by yourself and come back and check the answer. Alright, for B, my y2 is negative 1, so I got negative 1 minus a negative 1 over 5 minus 6. Negative 1 minus negative 1. That is like a plus, so I get 0 on top, and I get negative 1 on bottom. We never want to leave zeros in fractions. We want to simplify. 0 over negative 1. I kind of remember this little thing. 0's on top, it's okay. So this simplifies to 0. The other one is no, when 0's on the bottom. So C. I have negative 3 is my y2, my y is 5, and then negative 2 minus negative 2. So on top I get negative 8, on bottom I get 0. This is one where it follows that no, it's not okay. So when 0 is on the bottom, we say that is undefined. There's a nice little jingle. If it's under the line, it is undefined. That maybe helps you remember it. All right, then we are going on to slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept, thinking that that probably looks familiar to a lot of you. Graphing it. First thing we want to do is write the equation in slope-intercept form, that y equals mx plus b. Then we plot the y-intercept, use the slope to find the next point, and draw the line. Make sure we include arrows. So first thing on A, we look, is it in slope-intercept form, that y equals mx plus b? It is not. So let's make it that way. We'll add our 2x over. So our equation becomes y equals 2x plus 1. Then we plot the y-intercept. That is this thing hanging out all by itself. Y-intercept. And we'll plot that on our graph. And then we use the slope to find the next point. 2, the thing attached to my x is the slope. Remember, slope, rise over run. So from my point, I'm going to go up 2 and right 1. And I'm just going to kind of follow that from that point up to right 1. And draw my line. Don't forget arrows. Lines are continuous. So see if you can complete B. Pause and come back for the answer. On B, we have the same problem. It is not in slope-intercept form yet, so we will make it that way. We're going to add 4x over, which means I have negative 7y equals 4x 14. Y is not by itself, so I have to divide each part by -7. So y equals -4/7 x minus 2. So we start with our y-intercept, that is -2, so from the origin go down 2. Now we're going to use our slope. It's negative, so I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 7. Now I kind of run out of space. I can't really do down 4 and right 7, so I go back to my y-intercept, and this time I'm going to go up 4 and left 7, sorry. And you'll notice that it does indeed make a continuous line. Don't forget your arrows. And that is it for 2, 3.